is now,
Yeah.
back then. But he was stood there, and I was so close to going over to him and saying, "Did you go to my school?" Because I recognised his face, but I didn't know who he was. Do you know when you sort of go, "Sure, I went to school. It's not the one with the big head."
Yeah.
But I do recognise him. And then my girlfriend got off the train, and I said, "I'm sure I know him." She said, "Yeah, it's David Beckham." And I was so
thank
close
God
to
for your
going over.
girlfriend. Does she get an awful lot of scrapes, does she?
She does, yeah.
Okay, what about the fact that the pension crisis is going to force Britons to work into their 70s, Carl? You might have to carry on working into your 70s before you can claim a pension.
I think it's a good thing. Because you see a lot of old people who look bored.
Okay.
And I honestly think if you keep your brain busy,
Yeah.
you'll live longer.
Yeah.
It's only when you actually shut down, right, that's when your body sort of dies because it doesn't feel it has a purpose. Yeah. It's like if you've got flu, keep going to work. If you have a day off, you just feel worse. You'll mope about at home. It doesn't do you any good.
What about where do you draw the line there? Though? What if you say lose a finger, pop into work?
Depends. If you can't concentrate because it's painful.
But what if you're a typist?
Or
You're not going to
pianist?
type as many words, but you'll do more at work than you would having a day off at home.
Sure. Okay. Tony Blair turning trendy with his Paul Smith designed naked lady shirt. I don't know if you've seen this. It's the one with pictures of naked ladies on the cuffs.
And, you know, I mean...
Okay. And finally...
see, this is what annoys me about this feature. It's just, what's that? So what?
Yeah, but it's the Prime Minister of this country wearing a trendy shirt with naked ladies on the cuffs.
All right.
Okay. And finally, what do you make of the fact that Top of the Pops have banned Will Young singing both tracks on the #1 slot, and consequently he wasn't on there at all? They had to show the video. The first time anyone's ever made this demand. He wants to sing both the A and B side.
Well, he can't.
It's double A, yeah.
Double A side.
That's what they wanted to.
That isn't how it works, is it?
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
And the thing is, which one... I mean, at the end of the day, loads of people have bought it, haven't they? And it's like one of the best... So it doesn't really matter what it is, because people have got it. They can listen to what song they want at home. Doesn't matter about what Top of the Pops do.
Yes.
And it's just annoyed me now. It's...
Who's annoyed you?
Just what goes on in the world. I'll tell you, you're better off not knowing. It's better being in my little world. If that's what people are talking about on the streets and asking the white van man, do you know what I mean?
I think you're right, Carl. I think you're right.
Jeez.
Shall I play a lovely song for you? Because you're getting all stressed now, aren't you?
I've not had a good day.
No, I know. We tell you about it later. It's not a good day. Well, I'm going to play a Neil Young track here of Harvest. It's Alabama. It's beautiful, and this is for Carl. Athlete, West Side. I still like that one.
It's a good track.
Yeah, I was worried it's a bit novelty. It would go off very quickly, but it's good.
No, it's not bad at all.
On XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington. Steve.
Well, we were talking about the news just now, and there was a story I heard in the week. I think it was on the radio, and I don't know all the details. But what I heard was that a number of, I think it was Falkland, maybe Gulf War veterans, were, I think, suing or complaining to the government because they wanted compensation for post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but it seems to me that if you're in the army and you're a soldier, a certain degree of trauma is kind of inevitable. I mean, after all, if you're any good at your job, you are going to see people getting killed. So I don't understand what the ins and outs of it are. I don't know why.
No, when he came back and Tony Blair met him and go, all right, well, not really, no. Go on, what's the matter? Well, if there was people shooting at us and everything, it was all muddy. Well, calm down, don't cry. Well, I will.
There was a drill sergeant just kept shouting, saying, "Look at you, stupid boy, where's this
he's
gun's
got a
not
train,
clean?" And I
hasn't
just
he?
cleaned the gun and it was fine, and now he's telling me to clean it again.
Yeah, and the boots, they were shiny.
fine, he was
Well, he's
showing.
got to do that, it's more
His
discipline.
neck was as big as his head.
Well, yeah, but you don't know what they,
I don't know what the ins and outs of it are, but
what you got to do is make sure you know what you're going into. That's what I do. You got to check the small print. So if I was, going over to the Falklands or the Gulf, I'd put my hand up and go, will it be horrible? And I go, you at the back, yes. Will it be horrible? It will be horrible. Yes, it will be horrible. There will be shooting and lots of death and everything. I go, right. I'm not going to go. And they go,
Exactly.
okay then. Okay.
that should be fine, yeah.
Should be fine. Yeah, just like that. Is anyone else scared about this? Pretty much all of us. Okay, then we won't send anyone then.
Exactly.
My brother went into the army, right? Because he couldn't get a normal job, and my dad said, if you don't get a job by such a date, that's it, son. You're going in the army. And, so when was the Falklands? Was it about
81.
Right. And he joined back in like 81 or something. And he, I don't know, he was in Aldershot or something.
Oh yeah.
And he wrote back to my mum saying, you know, a bad time to join, bad time in this. So she wrote.
What bad time to join? That's so sweet, Carl, isn't it? That's like, dear Dad. Yeah, well done.
Don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah. I was on the dole, that's for sure. Thank you for joining. A month before the Belgrano.
Anyway,
go on.
my mum called up, spoke to the sergeant, and said, "Can you leave him out of this one?
Can you leave him out of this one? What,
He-
the Falkland War?
He's only just joined," and she called him Chuck, which he got done for. Like she's one of them. I think it's a northern thing, like saying, "How are you, Chuck?"
Yeah.
And she called the sergeant Chuck, and the sergeant said to my brother, "Your mum, you know, she's called up and asked if you can not go," which, of course, you know, I mean, we'll see how it goes. But can you
What?
tell
What do
her?
you mean? Why did the sergeant even entertain this?
Well,
Pilkington, come here. Your mum's been giving me a bit of earache. Now listen, tell her I've told you, but can you call her, because she called me Chuck and everything. Can you call her and say you don't mind? Well, not really. Oh, please, because I've promised her say you want to go. No, please, say you want to go. Why was he entertaining this phone call?
probably because he was new.
What?
Because he was new to the army, I suppose.
Who? No, I
Your-
mean the
your brother.
sergeant.
I don't know.
So-
Maybe they do that.
So what happened? He didn't go in the end?
So he didn't go. No.
You can't do.
But
you
that's
got-
ludicrous.
I loved it. That we went over the top. Pilkington,
I-
I've got a note. Yeah. Is this really your mum? Yeah. Okay. No, this seems to be in order.
Because I noticed it says, I do not want to go into the army. I don't want to go and fight. And it's crossed out and it's good. My mum says don't
Yeah.
go. Now, you didn't write this yourself.
No,
did you,
no, my mum
Pilkington?
wrote this. Okay,
You definitely
Pilkington,
wrote this yourself.
Your excuse. You're going to have to fill envelopes.
No, I'm sure if he was needed, he would have had to go. But I think they made a bit of a special effort. They sort of said, "Oh,
Well, it wasn't conscription anyway. Oh no, I see.
But were the other soldiers going around just going,
Pilkington.
no." He ended up being a mechanic in there, and he got kicked out for going for a packet of fags in a tank.
what?
Now wait a minute. Wait a minute. Do you mean he nipped down the shops
Yeah.
in a tank?
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
believe that, Carl. You've made
Honest to
that.
God, that, and he went off with the sergeant's wife, so that didn't help, and he ended up getting kicked out.
Sorry, your brother's a genius.
I love this. I love this. First of all, he gets a call from his mum, going let him up. He goes, oh God. Then he goes, where's Pilkington? His mum's on the phone. Where is he? He's near your house, Sergeant. Near my house? Well, why is? No reason. Well, when he comes back, when he's finished, tell him his mum called. And can he get me a packet of fags? Tell him to walk this time. This is
Wow.
ludicrous.
So the sergeant found out that he was
Yeah,
sleeping with his wife.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was
Did
quite
your
young.
mum phone out and say let him off? No,
Let him
court
off this
martial him.
time. Can he? Yeah. That's fantastic.
But he misses it. I mean, I haven't seen him for about 11 years, but ever since he came out, he's just kept getting into trouble and that. And the army, you know, people slag it off, but I think if you're a certain type of person, it's good for
It
you.
didn't straighten him out, did it?
No.
He was going down the shops in a tank. He was shagging someone
No,
behind
but
their back.
it's
Yeah.
really weird. It's like back then, he was like a proper adult, and he had a house, and he collected crystal with his wife and that. And now, he hasn't got any of that.
Has he got the wife?
No,
Has he got the crystal?
don't think he has.
And he hasn't got the
I
house.
seriously haven't seen him for about 11 or 12 years.
Oh,
So I
so
haven't even spoken
It
to
always
him.
Carl's stories always start off nice and funny, and then they just leave me empty and slightly
Yeah.
depressed. I don't know whether to hug him or shoot him, put him out of his misery. Can we take Carl to the phone in if you think I should take Carl to the vet and have him put down? Because it's just too stressful. Hyde's main offender, XFM 104.9. Wow, it's that time in the show where I test Carl on his
Homework.
for the week, history, the re-education of Carl Pilkington. As you know, we found out last week that he'd taken one GCSE and he'd got an E, and it was history.
Do you know, Steve, I haven't told you this, went shopping on Sunday, buy some new jeans, was in a shop, saw an old lad who I haven't seen for about 2.5 years, went, "You alright, mate, how you doing?" First thing he said, "Sorry to hear about your exam results."
God.
I
Had
just-
he listened to the show, or someone had
yeah,
just told
yeah,
him?
he was on a train listening to it on the way to a football match or something.
He knew that you were on the show, did he? He was a
Yeah.
regular listener.
First thing he said, So sorry about your exam results.
Haven't people have been coming up to you in the station going, "You
Yeah,
all right?
right.
Do you want to talk about it?" Or
God.
I know.
well, you did take it pretty badly for a 29-year-old man.
Just a bit of a shock because it